Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews, and today I'm planning on doing 3 reviews. I'm doing the review in the movie right now, which I'll be doing a review of Salem's Lot, which in a minute I'll talk about the movie. And then I plan on talking about either after this review or after my review of Children of the Corn, the original movie. I won't be talking about the sequels because I plan on doing a series of reviews on the Children of the Corn franchise, one day. And yeah, I'm a big fan of this franchise, big fan of this movie. It's definitely a classic. And yeah, so personally, I think that Children of the Corn, the original, is a classic. And two, I used to hate part two, and but I think it's pretty decent. Last time I watched it, was pretty decent. Three, I'm a big fan of. Four sucked. Five was decent. Six was decent. 7 sucked, 8 sucked, and the remake sucked. So I mean, there are movies in the franchise that are pretty bad, but this is the best in the franchise, and it's also my favorite of the franchise. But I'll talk about this movie, when I get to those reviews. But I'll talk about this movie a little bit later. But I'll talk about those sequels, when I get to those sequels to that series of reviews. And so yeah, I'll be either talking about a movie I want to talk about either before this review or after this review, because I'm going to do this review right now, and it's like I said, either before this review or after this review. I will talk about Crimson Peak, which I did not like. I'll do a rant on it because I seen it a few days ago in the movie theater, and to be honest with you guys, I didn't like Crimson Peak. Thought it was pretty bad, so I'll be doing a review on that. But right now, talking about Salem's Lot, a TV movie from 1979. It's 6.8 on IMDb, written by Toby Hooper. And as you guys can see, this is a rant because the thing with this movie is I got it a while back, around 2010 is when I got this DVD. And I can say that poster's pretty decent, pretty cool looking poster. And also the look of the vampire, pretty creepy looking. But besides that, honestly, I don't really find anything else to enjoy about the movie. To me, the big problem with this movie, there's a disc. The big problem with the movie is the pace. The pace is so slow, it kills the movie in my opinion. Now, there are also problems of I really didn't. The story, I thought if it wouldn't have been so long, maybe it would have been more decent, the story. Also, some of the characters I really didn't care for. And directed by Toby Hooper, who had directed my favorite horror film of all time, the original Texas Massacre. And he's directed a movie called Mortuary, which was crap. He's kind of controversial whether or not he directed Poltergeist or not, but it's listed on IMDb. I think he directed Poltergeist. I think I said that him, or was it just him and Steven Spielberg that were listed as directors? But so, let's get on Poltergeist. It says that he was the director of Poltergeist, so I was gonna, say that he was director of Poltergeist. But I do know that it's very controversial to say that because there was dispute between who had made the movie. Was it Steven Spielberg or was it Toby Hooper? And I know there was a bit of controversial behind that, but he directed that movie, which is a classic. He also directed Texas Massacre Part 2, which in my opinion is a great sequel. Yeah, so the theme is about Salem's Lot, and I just never got into it. Honestly, guys, I just never got into the movie. When I first got it and I first watched it, like I said, the pace, it just really, wasn't, a fast-paced movie, which I get it. It's supposed to be, it's kind of like, well, what'd you expect, Nate? It's a TV miniseries, a TV movie. Well, it's not a miniseries, it's a TV movie. What do you expect? And I'm like, it's 112 minutes. That's it. Just not much happens. And I've watched some pretty long movies over the years of watching movies. I've watched Lord of the Rings, which, the thing about if you have a long movie, just make it to where time doesn't feel like it's make it to where the movie doesn't feel like it's dragging, okay? If you're gonna do a long movie, make it to where you have scenes that really make the audience get into the movie. Now, of course, I know that there are some fans of this movie. Um, a well-made Hellraiser was a review by Leonard Martin's Movie and Video Guide, and I just don't like this movie, honestly. And like I said, I know there's fans of this movie, and if you're a fan, that's cool. It's awesome that you're a fan. It's just all I ask is not be a jerk to me, because I just don't like the movie. Now, like I said, it was based on the book by Stephen King, which I haven't read yet, but I actually plan on reading it because I want to see if the book is better than the movie, or if the movie somehow is a little bit better than the book. I'm not sure on that, but I'm gonna, probably read the book someday. And once again, guys, I apologize about that. You guys might be hearing my little brother; they're crying a lot. Just I don't know. I just don't mind it. I guess he's just a baby, so. Anyways, like I said, um, just I might read the book because it might be just a little bit better than the movie, because in my opinion the movie, just the pace, like I said, destroyed the movie. In my opinion, the pace was the thing that really killed the movie. And I know I've been going on about that problem, but like I said, the poster and the lead character was probably the most likable character. Him along with his girlfriend, maybe the two most likable characters in the entire movie. The rest of the characters I really didn't care for. And basically what it's about, you got a guy named Ben coming back to a town called, well, basically he's coming back to Salem's Lot. And it's a small New England town, and he's coming back, he's been gone for years, and he gets back and he's talking to people, meets his girl, ends up becoming his girlfriend, and basically there's this kid who's a really big fan of, 50s and like 30s and 40s monster flicks, like Frankenstein, Dracula classics. And basically you find out that there's this guy that owns this building, and these people deliver this crate. The crate gets destroyed, they find people dead. Long story short, you find out by the end of the movie that this vampire, sort of a Nosferatu look. I believe, I'm not sure if in the movie they call it Nosferatu. I mean, it pretty much is Nosferatu. But, pretty much you find out that this vampire has been biting people, and this guy that owns the building is sort of, the servant to the vampire, sort of helps him get his victims, and it all leads up to the end of the movie where the lead character and the boy, and I believe the girl and a couple other people, I think, they go to the building. A couple people get killed, and pretty much the lead character kills the owner of the building, or of the house, or whatever. Pretty much this house right here in the cover, right there. And like I said, the guy that owns the mansion and stuff like that, he gets killed, and pretty much it leads up to them finding some more vampires, and pretty much the guy gets a stake, and shows it through Nosferatu's heart, and pretty much the vampire dies, and it's the end of the movie. And just I don't know. I mean, I know that plot, sounds interesting, which it is an interesting plot, it really is. But the thing is, like I keep saying, it's just the pace. The pace was extremely slow. Not much happens, and when stuff does happen, it takes a while for it to happen. And like I said, I mean, just very little things in the movie that I enjoyed. I didn't mind the trailer. Watching the trailer, which is probably the only. You got a trailer. Yeah, pretty much it's just a trailer. There's no commentary, no features, pretty much bare bones, no features at all besides the trailer. And the trailer was, I guess, okay. I watched it, thought it was a decent looking theatrical trailer, pretty cool. And I don't know, I mean, just I can keep going on and on about the problems of the movie, but you know, like I said, I might review. I mean, I might do a. I might read the book of Salem's Lot because it might be a little bit better than the movie. And I understand there was a TV movie, I guess, remake in 2004, which gets a lower rating, a little bit lower, gets 6.3. And I guess there was a sequel that was made in 1987. Oh yeah, I remember that. That's Return to Salem's Lot. It gets a 4.2, but it's rated R. So yeah, I might check out that. I might check out Return to Salem's Lot because it's rated R. But like I said, I'm not sure if it's good or not because it gets a 4.2. But and there's really not much blood in the movie, not much for the suspense. There's a scene where this kid's getting chased around in the woods, and it's a little bit suspenseful, but not much to that scene, not much to the suspense scenes. I will say that there is one scene that I really enjoyed, and that's the scene where the family is pretty much trying to find out what happened to their son. So this priest comes over, and pretty much they end up awakening this vampire. And I like the idea of it, basically this like cloak forming into the vampire, and then the owner of the building sort of telling them that pretty much they're doomed and stuff like that. And the vampire, pretty much grabs the cross, and the cross pretty much, I guess it doesn't affect the vampire. And it was a well done scene because it was shot well, it was acted well, and it was creepy. It just the creepy look of the vampire, it was creepy, and just probably the only really suspenseful scene in the movie. Besides that, I really didn't care for any other scenes. Like I said, there's not much blood to the movie. There's not much gore. There's not much for the suspense. I didn't really like the characters. The pace was a huge problem with the movie. The score, there was bits and pieces of the score I didn't mind, but honestly, I think altogether the score wasn't, honestly, in my opinion, that good. There were a few pieces of music that I thought were pretty decent, but altogether, I didn't think the score was that great. But yeah, I mean, out of all the Stephen King movies I've seen, this is probably one of the weaker ones, in my opinion. Which, once again, I know is not everybody's thoughts because there's fans of this movie because it gets 6.8. But I just didn't get into the movie. Just a movie I couldn't get into. When I first got it, and I still can't get into the movie. So yeah, this is a little bit shorter of a review, but there's not much else I can say about Salem's Lot. It's got a simple plot. I can give it that. But the thing is, the pace of the movie was slow. So yeah, that's my rant on Salem's Lot. I mean, it's a rant, but I don't hate the movie. I don't despise the movie. It's not like it's a crappy, cheap looking, cheesy, stupid flick. No, it's just the movie just, I don't know, the pace. The pace. And it's just the pace was really bad. And it's a slow moving movie. It's not that fast of a movie, and it really killed the movie in my opinion. So yeah, that's my rant on Salem's Lot. And I will see you guys next review. And thanks for watching. And yeah, I will see you guys next review. Bye guys.